Hey there, welcome to the Airship Show number 5. This is part 2 in a 3-part series about how to get evidence off of your DVR. Last week we talked about getting video clips off your DVR and making that really easy to use. It's a single executable, as you might remember, where you basically export your clip, burn it to a CD or copy it to a USB stick, and give it to the police. Well, this week we're going to talk about something even simpler, and it's basically photographs. Take a snapshot of live or playback video, print it out to a sheet, burn it to a CD. You can even edit the image before it goes out to make it as clear as possible. And we'll show you all that stuff. So this will be a really short show, but pretty cool features all built in. Check it out, and remember to check back later on for part 3, the rest of how to get evidence off the system. Here we go. Okay, so we start out with some cameras up on the screen already remote, and we've got an alarm going on already. First thing we do is go ahead and go into the system settings. There's a simple setting I want to show here. Under System and General, there's a checkbox about whether or not to show the snapshot viewer when you click the snapshot button, so that not only will it take the snapshot, but it'll also basically show you the snapshot you just took. So back here I choose a camera, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Snapshot. There we go, I take a snapshot, and it shows me exactly the snapshot I just took. There's some other snapshots that I took earlier today as well. Right now you're looking at the live view list, but there's also the list from playback, or you can do both types, live view and playback at the same time. There's a column there on the right that says picture type. Also, that checkbox is on the playback screen as well. So several pieces of information here on the grid, but we'll get back to that later. We can get into editing an image. There's several things that you can do when you edit an image. On the left hand side is the original. On the right is your changed version, and the idea here is to be able to play with the image so that you can pick out details that you normally wouldn't be able to pick out from the straight snapshot. So you can make it grayscale, you can do a solarization effect with the negative, you can increase the gamma, you can also play with the 3 different color fields to see if you're able to pick out better details under different color situations. On the left hand side you'll see that there's the brightness and contrast and saturation settings. So in this case, it looks like, we're looking for something underneath that tree, for example, back there, that little dark spot. So there's a car on the other side of the parking lot. We're looking under that tree there. So playing with brightness, playing with contrast and color saturation can help bring out some of the details in dark areas. Or if you have a washed out area that's extremely bright, you can reduce the brightness and increase the contrast, and often that'll help you see details better. So there's a lot that you can do. Basically, take a snapshot and tweak it and try to get a face in an image better or other details. When you've changed it to what you want it to look like, go ahead and click on File and Save. Thing to note here under Save As is the normal path that we save our images to. So the C drive, Program Files, Airship Demo or Airship Client, Work Folder, and Save File. That's the default path that we normally use. However, you can save your images anywhere. You can go to the My Documents folder, the My Pictures folder, and no matter where you save it, USB drive, write it to your desktop, you can always give it any name you want. So we've gone ahead and saved the picture there. Now you can also directly email the image from here. Just click on the Email Image button, type in the address that you're going to send it to, and a subject and some explanation, just like a normal email. It's just that our snapshot is already attached. You can click the Add button to pick other images that you may have saved to send along with this one snapshot. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and send a couple more images. One of them is, of course, a picture of our beautiful user interface. Click Send and off it goes. Click on the Add to CD button to add this one bitmap, this one snapshot, to burn to a CD. This is basically a quick way of getting evidence, getting a snapshot that's extremely important off the system and hand it out to anybody you want to. We'll talk more about CD burning later. You can also print them, so click on the Print button, type in some information. You can check the Add Date Time button if you want to, check the orientation. Also, check your setup to make sure you're printing to the right printer if you have more than one. And just click OK, and your print goes out to the printer. And you can go grab that and hand that out to surveillance or security enforcement folks. So back at the main snapshot screen, you'll notice you can flip through all these snapshots pretty easily. They're sorted by the file name, which is also happens to be the date and the time. Right here, basically we can pick out which camera's images came from, and by checking the box on the left, you can take specific snapshots and add those to a CD to burn. So you can also, when you're in the CD burner, drill down to any directory, for example, our default directory, Program Files, Airship Demo, Work Folder, Bitmap File, more Airship Demo, that's the name of the camera group that it was from, and the date. There'll be a list of date folders if you have several dates. And just drag the other snapshots that you want out to the burn list on the left, and you can just add more files to the same burn. You can also rename the disk, and by clicking on the project button, you can save this list of items to burn as a project. So you don't have to burn the CD now. You can keep adding things to the same project over time, over a day, until your CD is full. You can also use the Select All button, and in this case, just showing you can print from the main screen as well as from the snapshot editor screen. So you'll notice at the top there we have print, email image, and add to CD, just like we had on the snapshot editor screen. So by selecting all of them, you can email all of these images to a recipient. You can select several snapshots from the list and burn those onto CD. You can select several snapshots from the list and print them as well. Notice the attachment size. That's how big your email is going to be when you send it. Sometimes recipients can't receive large emails, so that's something to be aware of. Typically under 5 megabytes is all right, but if a recipient isn't receiving the email, just try to find out how big of an email they can receive and reduce your list to what they are able to handle. So there's a lot of information here on the screen: the size of the images, the camera they were taken from, and also by selecting the check boxes and hitting the delete button, you can delete images that you no longer need. So in this case, I've got several snapshots taken within the same minute. I don't need to keep those for very long, so I go ahead and delete those. The select list at the top will allow you to select multiple dates, filter by the different types, whether they're from live view or playback, and also from multiple camera groups. So you can filter by different camera groups if you happen to have more than one camera group on your client. Note that all of these features also work from the server, except that a server does not have camera groups. That's the only difference. So just to show you, we're flipping over here to the playback screen, and I'm trying to pull up a video. Looks like my remote connection to the outside camera is not working right, so let's pull up the inside camera. There we go. That was at midnight this morning. And we can pull up snapshots of that. Let's try the outside camera again. So that was again midnight this morning. There we go. Okay, now we can see that. And again, you can just take snapshots here by hitting the snapshot button on the upper right of the screen. So this, of course, is where you use the playback slider to find the exact video that you're looking for. And once you do, just hit the button, your snapshot gets taken, and you're good to go. So if we turn off the show viewer on snapshot option and go back and take a bunch of snapshots, what happens is you'll click the snapshot button and then nothing's going to happen. It'll just take it and store it. For a reminder about how all of this works, don't forget that the question mark in the upper right hand corner opens up the online user guide that's installed with your software. So under Tools, you'll find information about the snapshot editor, the snapshot viewer, and all those other details. So that's basically it. I'm going to turn off some alarms here. So that's basically how you take snapshots and how you get them either to a CD, print them out to paper, or email them to somebody. Now, there's more that you can do as well. You can always just copy the bitmap files, the snapshot files, directly off of your Windows machine onto either a USB drive, or if you happen to have a Windows network drive or Windows Share, you can just copy those bitmaps wherever you want. So when you're in the image editor and save your snapshots to places like your desktop or your My Documents folder, don't forget that you can always just copy those to a USB thumb drive that you might have plugged into a USB port on your computer. So those are the ways of getting the evidence off the system when it comes to snapshots.